I think we all want the cryptocurrency market to break new all-time highs, and I think we want it to happen quickly. But for Dogecoin and other cryptocurrencies alike, we're seeing a little bit of a stall out in the market. Here's a headline about Dogecoin. Dogecoin leads Memecoin dive as geopolitical tensions slam the crypto market. Mentioning Dogecoin, Fartcoin, and Pepe, other big memes, got a huge sell-off on some of the news that we've been seeing happening on the global stage regarding Iran and Israel. What we've also got going on is massive liquidations for the people betting on crypto to go up. $585 million on June 11th, and then another $571 million of longs getting squeezed, crashing to the downside in the crypto market. Almost $1 billion in 2 days wiped out from the long positions. Why are the people betting that the crypto market is going to go higher getting hurt right now? Let's talk about Dogecoin, why I'm currently in a Dogecoin short position, and what you need to know about this market. Currently, the Dogecoin position that I'm in is right now slightly in the profit, $40. I do not have a stop loss set on this yet, but I will be setting something up here over the course of the day, keeping an eye on it. I just had entered this position just a little bit ago, and it's something that I'm going to keep my eye on. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I'm Crypto Kip. Do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's just take a peek at exactly what's happening right now for the price action on Doge and kind of why on the news side of things. I have a feeling about what comes next and why I open the short. So looking at Dogecoin, I want to just zoom out for you guys here. There's two things that I've been looking at for Doge lately. One is this larger triangle. So see this big blue line down here and this one. There is a possibility. Let's just pretend that Bitcoin has a slip, okay? And why would Bitcoin slip down? Well, a few reasons. One, geopolitical tensions, like we saw in that headline for Dogecoin. There are attacks happening daily right now, and there's big conflict in the Middle East, and there's a question as to whether world powers are going to be getting dragged into that. Uncertainty is causing fear. Okay. On top of that, you have tariff escalations, which I talked about in my video earlier today about crypto.com. And that's causing uncertainty about inflation. And some experts believe that it is going to be difficult still. Even though we've had not increase of a Fed rate cut, it's still going to be difficult for the Fed to cut rates. So if Bitcoin slips down and Bitcoin goes down to 100K or slips below 100K, I'm looking out for some levels to the downside for Doge. Levels I've been talking about with you guys for a while, which we've been moving closer to them at 15.2-ish cents for a wick. Maybe, this weekly body candle closes at like high 16 cents, but we could easily get a wick down to 15 cents. Again, maybe slightly lower. We might even see it hit into the 13 for a second. Now, if we truly break with a weekly candle close below this trend line, well, we could test this larger triangle that I have drawn here and maybe even see Dogecoin come back down to 6 or 7 cents. Now, good news, okay? How's that good news? Well, good news is if you can buy Dogecoin at 6 or 7 cents and it goes to $1, and remember, guys, there's a Dogecoin ETF coming. There's all these bullish things for Dogecoin. Imagine if, you knew Dogecoin was going to $1 and you could buy it at 7 cents. Wouldn't that be a fantastic buying opportunity? Well, the answer is yes. If that's something you believe, and I do believe it, I think these lower discounts for Dogecoin are excellent. At some point, there's going to be a breakout. Now, if you look at this kind of larger horizontal triangle that's happening, let's just pretend Dogecoin does break out of this triangle. Okay, guys? You can kind of measure what the move's going to be, and that's the opening of the triangle to the point of the breakout, which I don't know when it's going to be exactly, guys, but it could be somewhere over here. I mean, this even kind of suggests that maybe you see something crazy like a $7 Dogecoin. Now, I don't know about all that. I'm not talking about a $7 Dogecoin today, but if Dogecoin does break to the upside on this, I mean, the move could be epic for Doge. It is the largest meme. There is an ETF coming. And guys, I think in a world too, another thought with Doge is in a world where now there's so many meme coins that came out recently, it's like, I think people might just want to go back to the basics. Kind of like when there's volatility in the altcoin market, people flee back to Bitcoin. I think that when the meme coins are up in the air and people are starting to like get a little disenchanted with meme coins, they might start fleeing back to Dogecoin. I've been having a lot of fun trading Dogecoin to the upside and to the downside. I had traded this move back here to the upside for Doge, caught the up, and I'm catching it on the way back down. And that's the beauty of trading, guys. That's why I've been trading so much. I'm in another position right now for Doge, so we're going to see how this one shakes out. I might actually just keep this position open. Normally I set my stop losses, but I do have a high degree of conviction that with this uncertainty and this fear, we could see more dips this week, depending on the news that breaks. It could certainly be some kind of positive story that comes out where there's resolve on these tensions in the Middle East and there's improvements on tariffs, but there's kind of a lot up in the air right now, and not in the best of ways. And leading into, this next week, I'm thinking, man, we really could see some downward momentum in these markets. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to give financial advice, guys. This is just my personal plays day to day as I'm looking at the news, reading into these stories. And for the record, my conviction doesn't change on the future of Dogecoin. I believe that the dollar Doge is very achievable, and we've already laid out so many reasons for that. But as you look into the week ahead, you have to proceed with an extreme amount of caution and a good amount of energy towards the exciting opportunities we have, both on the buying level if we do dip to that 15-cent level, or if we do dip even lower to that 6 or 7-cent level on that larger time frame. Those are buying opportunities. If you believe Dogecoin is going to go up higher in the future because of all the different things that we talk about day in, day out, then what you do is you look for the dip to accumulate more. I think Dogecoin's the Bitcoin of Memecoins. I think that there are some big competitors like Pepe and, maybe Shiba. I think that Pepe might be bigger than Shiba now. That's an interesting debate as well. But I'm really bullish on this asset class as a whole. I'm very excited for what comes next in crypto. And as we do see inflation problems and global tensions, when you really think about it, Bitcoin is kind of the escape hatch to all these problems. The weakening of the dollar with inflation, a strong reserve asset. Even a great story that came out recently, I saw the quantum computing is becoming more of a threat from IBM, coming out with a quantum computer that could rival Bitcoin by 2029. Michael Saylor combated that idea where, that was a FUD story on Bitcoin. Okay, if Bitcoin is under threat from quantum computing, well then all the major companies like Microsoft and your Gmail and everything and your bank accounts are going to be way more jeopardized because they are way less secure than Bitcoin. Crypto is here to stay. It is the future. Dogecoin is a meme coin, but it is the biggest one. And this ETF is going to be interesting to watch. I'm going to keep the updates coming with the trades that I'm looking at, guys, with the news as we're seeing it. There have been some retaliations on the global stage with this conflict in the Middle East. And so it's going to be pretty intense to watch this week in terms of how the news plays out and then how the prices move in the markets, both traditional stock market and the crypto market with it. We're going to keep an eye on it. So subscribe for more updates. Smash like, subscribe to the channel. Do your own research, guys. If you want to sign up for Blowfin, do some trading for yourself, you can sign up using the link in the description and in the comments down below. Up to a $5,000 deposit bonus for you there. That's all I got. Smash like, subscribe. DCA Hodl, 2 videos here if you want to check them out. Peace, guys.